There is a quiet difference between women who constantly chase connection and women who seem to attract it without effort. That difference is not beauty, luck, or manipulation. It is psychological. It is rooted in how a woman relates to herself long before she relates to anyone else. High-quality men do not respond to performance. They respond to presence. They do not fall for intensity. They are drawn to emotional clarity, and the women who consistently attract them are not trying to win anyone over. They are anchored, regulated, and deeply self-respecting. This is not about dating tactics. This is about internal habits that quietly shape how the world responds to you. The first habit is internal sovereignty. Women who attract the best men do not outsource their worth. Their emotional center of gravity lives inside them. From a psychological standpoint, this is the difference between an external and internal locus of control. An external locus constantly scans for approval, reassurance, and validation. An internal locus generates stability regardless of who is watching. High-quality men, especially emotionally secure ones, are instinctively drawn to this because it signals safety. It tells the nervous system, this woman will not collapse under pressure. She will not turn me into her emotional regulator. She is already regulated. This habit begins with how a woman speaks to herself when no one else is listening. She does not catastrophize her mistakes or romanticize her potential. She sees herself clearly and treats that clarity with respect. Behavioral psychology tells us that consistency builds trust faster than intensity. These women are consistent with themselves. Their standards do not fluctuate based on who enters the room. They do not become softer to be liked or sharper to be noticed. They remain themselves, which creates a psychological anchor that others feel immediately. You can feel this habit in the way she moves through uncertainty. When she does not know where something is going, she does not panic. She does not rush intimacy to secure attachment. She allows information to reveal itself over time. This is emotional discipline, the ability to tolerate ambiguity without self-abandoning. Men who are high quality are testing for this unconsciously, not because they are cruel, but because partnership requires emotional endurance. A woman who can stay grounded while things unfold signals that she will not weaponize anxiety or urgency later. This internal sovereignty also changes how she desires. She wants companionship, not completion. There is a profound difference. When desire comes from emptiness, it feels heavy. When it comes from fullness, it feels inviting. High-quality men can sense this instantly. Desire rooted in lack creates pressure. Desire rooted in self-sufficiency creates choice. Choice is attractive because it means connection is mutual, not needed. The second habit is emotional selectivity. Women who attract the best men are emotionally open, but not emotionally available to everyone. This distinction is critical. Emotional openness is warmth, curiosity, and presence. Emotional availability is access. Access is earned, not given away prematurely. From a psychological perspective, this is boundary intelligence. It is the ability to feel deeply without attaching indiscriminately. She does not overshare to create intimacy. She allows intimacy to be built through observation and behavior over time. This is important because emotional bonding chemicals are released through perceived safety and reciprocity, not confession. When a woman tells her whole story too early, she often bonds faster than the man does. This creates imbalance. High-value men avoid imbalance because it signals future emotional debt. Emotionally selective women pay attention to how they feel after interactions, not just during them. Do they feel calm or unsettled? Energized or drained? Seen or confused? They trust these signals. They do not override them with fantasy. This is emotional intelligence in action. The nervous system always tells the truth before the mind catches up. Because of this, she does not chase clarity from inconsistent behavior. She lets behavior be the clarity. If a man is vague, inconsistent, or evasive, she does not interrogate him or try to fix the dynamic. She simply pulls her energy back. This is not punishment. It is self-regulation. High-quality men respect this instinctively because it mirrors their own standards. They also withdraw from what does not align. This habit is deeply connected to self-respect. A woman who respects herself does not try to be chosen by someone who is undecided. She understands that attraction grows where there is mutual investment. Psychology shows us that people value what they invest in. By not over-investing early, she allows attraction to develop organically rather than artificially. The third habit is quiet confidence rooted in self-trust. This is not loud confidence or performative confidence. It is the kind that does not need to announce itself. It shows up in how she makes decisions and stands by them without apology. She does not over-explain. Over-explaining is often a sign of self-doubt. High-quality men are drawn to women who trust their own judgment because it suggests maturity and emotional stability. Self-trust is built through keeping promises to yourself. Small ones. Saying no when you mean no. Resting when you are tired. Leaving situations that feel wrong even if they look good on paper. Each time you do this, you reinforce an internal message that you are safe with yourself. This safety becomes visible. People feel it. Men respond to it. This confidence also regulates her reactions. She does not react impulsively to triggers. She pauses. She observes. She chooses her response. This is emotional mastery. It does not mean she suppresses emotion. It means she directs it. High-quality men value this because it predicts how conflict will be handled in the future. They are not looking for perfection. They are looking for regulation. Because of this, she does not use drama as a bonding tool. She does not confuse intensity with intimacy. She knows that real connection feels steady, not chaotic. Her presence calms rather than destabilizes. In behavioral psychology, this is known as co-regulation. Nervous systems seek equilibrium. A regulated woman becomes a place of rest, not a battlefield. This habit also influences her expectations. She expects consistency, respect, and effort because she gives those things to herself first. Expectations are not demands. They are reflections of self-treatment. When a woman treats herself well, poor treatment feels foreign. She does not tolerate it long enough for attachment to override discernment. As a woman becomes anchored in herself, something subtle but powerful begins to shift in how she relates to others. Her energy stops reaching outward for reassurance and starts moving from a place of discernment. This is where the second phase of attraction truly forms, not through what she reveals, but through what she protects. Women who consistently attract high-quality men have mastered emotional boundaries and communication in a way that feels natural, calm, and self-possessed. They are not guarded, but they are not porous. They allow connection without losing definition. Emotional boundaries are not walls. They are filters. Psychologically, they function as a decision-making system that determines what is allowed to move closer and what remains at a distance. A woman with healthy emotional boundaries does not confuse availability with accessibility. She can be present without being consumed. She can listen without absorbing. This is crucial because many relationships fail not from lack of attraction, but from emotional flooding. When one person carries too much of the emotional load too soon, attraction collapses under pressure. High-quality men are especially sensitive to this. They are not afraid of emotions, but they are wary of emotional chaos. A woman who knows how to hold her emotions without projecting them creates a sense of psychological safety. She does not make her feelings someone else's responsibility. She owns them. This ownership is deeply attractive because it signals adulthood, not emotional dependency. You see this habit clearly in how she communicates discomfort. She does not suppress it, and she does not explode with it. She addresses it cleanly, without accusation or drama. Behavioral psychology shows that people respond best to clarity delivered without emotional volatility. When a woman says what she needs without over-explaining or apologizing, she communicates self-respect. She is not asking permission to have standards. She is stating reality. This kind of communication requires emotional courage. It means being willing to risk disapproval rather than betray yourself. Many women are conditioned to soften their truth to preserve connection. But high-value dynamics are built on honesty, not appeasement. A woman who communicates clearly teaches others how to treat her. Men who are capable of healthy partnership respect this immediately. Men who are not often reveal themselves just as quickly. Another key aspect of this habit is restraint. Women who attract the best men do not say everything they feel in the moment they feel it. They understand emotional timing. This is not manipulation. It is maturity. Emotions rise and fall. Reacting at the peak often creates damage that cannot be undone. She allows emotions to settle before speaking, which leads to communication that is grounded rather than reactive. This restraint also applies to reassurance seeking. She does not fish for compliments or constantly check where she stands. Not because she does not care, but because she trusts that consistency will reveal truth. From a psychological perspective, excessive reassurance seeking signals insecurity and creates pressure. Pressure erodes attraction. Calm confidence invites it. She also listens differently. She listens for patterns, not promises. She pays attention to how words align with actions over time. This protects her from potential-based attachment, which is one of the most common traps in dating. High-quality men are not trying to sell potential. They live in alignment. A woman with emotional boundaries recognizes this and does not fill in gaps with hope. Because of this, she does not chase conversations that leave her confused. Confusion is information. Instead of interrogating or over-communicating to force clarity, she steps back and observes. This silence is not a tactic. It is self-respect in action. It allows the dynamic to reveal itself without interference. Men who are serious step forward in this space. Men who are not often fade. Either way, she gains clarity without self-abandonment. Another defining element of this habit is how she handles emotional intensity from others. When someone rushes intimacy, overshares, or tries to bond quickly, she does not match that pace. She stays regulated. She does not confuse chemistry with compatibility. This grounded response often slows the dynamic to a healthier speed. High-quality men appreciate this because it creates room for genuine connection to grow. Her communication style is direct but warm. She does not use passive aggression or emotional tests. Testing is a sign of fear. She asks questions when she needs answers and accepts the responses without trying to negotiate reality. This acceptance does not mean tolerance. It means she does not argue with what is. She simply decides accordingly. Emotionally boundaried women also understand the power of silence. Silence is not absence, it is space. Space allows attraction to breathe. It allows curiosity to form. When a woman fills every gap with words or availability, she removes the opportunity for the other person to lean in. High-quality men are not passive, but they still respond to space that invites pursuit rather than demands it. This habit also protects her from emotional over-identification. She does not take everything personally. If someone is distant, inconsistent, or unresponsive, she does not immediately assume fault. She understands that behavior reflects internal states. This perspective prevents emotional spiraling and preserves self-esteem. Men feel this stability. It creates an environment where connection can grow without emotional landmines. Importantly, she does not confuse kindness with compliance. She can be gentle and still say no. She can be empathetic without sacrificing her needs. This balance is rare and powerful. It communicates that she values harmony, but not at the expense of herself. High-quality men are drawn to this because it mirrors their own desire for mutual respect. As communication deepens, she remains anchored in her own life. She does not shrink her world to make space for someone else. Her routines, values, and priorities remain intact. This signals that she is choosing connection, not clinging to it. Psychology tells us that autonomy increases desire. When a woman maintains her individuality, she becomes more attractive, not less. By the end of this phase, something important has happened. She has not tried to impress or persuade. She has simply been herself with clarity and restraint. Emotional boundaries and healthy communication have filtered out what does not align and invited forward what does. This is not luck. It is psychological alignment. And now, with her inner world regulated and her boundaries intact, the final shift begins. Attraction moves from effort to embodiment, from managing dynamics to simply being. This is where confidence becomes visible, not through words, but through presence. This is where the best men stop being chased and start finding their way to her naturally. At this stage, attraction is no longer something she thinks about. It is something she embodies. The final habit that draws high-quality men is not strategy or restraint. It is presence. Embodied confidence changes how a woman is perceived before she ever speaks. It lives in her posture, her pace, her voice, and her decisions. This confidence is not performative. It does not seek to be impressive. It is rooted in self-respect so consistent that it becomes visible. From a psychological standpoint, embodied confidence signals congruence. What a woman feels, thinks, and does are aligned. There is no internal friction. People respond instinctively to this because congruence feels trustworthy. High-quality men, especially those who are emotionally and psychologically mature, are constantly assessing congruence. They are not looking for perfection. They are looking for coherence. A woman who is at ease with herself communicates that ease without effort. This embodiment shows up in her pacing. She does not rush connection, intimacy, or decisions. She understands that attraction grows in proportion to safety, not speed. When something is right, there is no urgency. Urgency often masks fear. Calm pacing communicates confidence in abundance. It suggests that she is not afraid of losing because she is not operating from scarcity. She also moves through interactions with grounded femininity. This is not submission or performance. It is receptivity without neediness. She allows men to show up rather than coaching them on how to do so. This is important because high-quality men want to feel chosen, not managed. When a woman steps back into receptivity, she creates space for masculine initiative to emerge naturally. Selective attraction is a natural consequence of this. She is not trying to appeal to everyone. She does not adjust herself to fit preferences. She understands that polarity requires difference, not accommodation. By staying true to herself, she becomes deeply attractive to the right men and invisible to the wrong ones. This selectivity is not arrogance, it is clarity. Her confidence also shapes how she handles attention. When she receives interest, she does not inflate or diminish herself. She receives it calmly. When interest fades or is inconsistent, she does not chase it. She lets it go without bitterness. This neutrality is powerful. It communicates emotional self-sufficiency. Men are drawn to women who do not try to control outcomes. Embodied confidence is also reflected in her standards. She does not announce them, she lives them. She does not argue or justify why she expects respect, consistency, or effort. These expectations are non-negotiable because they align with how she treats herself. Psychology shows us that unspoken standards are often more powerful than stated ones because they are enforced through behavior, not words. This enforcement is quiet. If something does not align, she disengages with dignity. She does not punish or dramatize. She simply redirects her energy. This is one of the most attractive qualities a woman can possess. It signals that she values peace over validation. High-quality men respect this because it mirrors their own approach to boundaries. Her presence also invites emotional depth without force. She asks thoughtful questions. She listens fully. She is not distracted by proving herself. This creates a sense of being seen. Men open up in this space because it feels safe. There is no pressure to perform or impress. Connection becomes mutual exploration rather than evaluation. She also understands that attraction is not sustained by constant availability. She has a full life that she enjoys. Her time is meaningful to her. When she chooses to share it, it feels like a gift rather than an obligation. This shifts the dynamic entirely. Time shared becomes intentional, not habitual. This habit protects her from chasing. Chasing is often a response to fear of loss. But when a woman is embodied in her worth, she does not chase what is uncertain. She allows reciprocity to lead. If it is there, she meets it. If it is not, she moves on without resentment. This emotional neutrality is deeply attractive because it removes pressure and expectation. High-quality men are drawn to women who allow them to pursue without resistance or manipulation. Embodied confidence creates this openness naturally. There is no push or pull, there is simply presence. Men who are ready for real partnership recognize this immediately. Men who are not often feel uncomfortable because it requires authenticity in return. This final habit also influences long-term dynamics. A woman who embodies confidence does not lose herself in relationship. She continues to grow, evolve, and honor her needs. This prevents resentment and maintains attraction over time. Relationships thrive when both individuals remain whole. As this speech comes to a close, understand this truth. The best men are not attracted to effort. They are attracted to alignment. They are not looking for perfection. They are looking for emotional maturity, self-respect, and calm confidence. Women who cultivate these three habits do not need to convince or compete. They simply become a natural match for the kind of partnership they desire. Attraction, at its highest level, is not about being wanted. It is about being available to the right connection while unavailable to everything else. When a woman lives from this place, she does not wonder why the best men are drawn to her. She understands that her inner world has quietly shaped her outer reality.